I'm gonna heal the shit out of you.
Clerics. You probably are not very familiar with them when it comes to pop culture, but in video games, these guys are a necessity, and that is no different in tabletop role-playing games. Some of the best examples that we have here are Mercy from Overwatch, and just to make the sci-fi realm of this channel upset, maybe even Rey Skywalker. Think about it.
She's a ray of sunshine. Sorry, that was horrible.
For those of you joining us from 5e Gaming, go to this timestamp here to see what's changed. If you're looking to build a cleric, the ability scores that you're going to want to focus on are going to be Wisdom and Constitution or Strength. That's going to depend on what kind of cleric that you want to build.
Speaking of wanting to figure out what you want to play as a cleric, there's so many wonderful options. Don't even get me started. I do like a good cleric. We have the Manifestation of Faith. So this cool little first level feature allows you to pretty much choose what type of vibe you want to go for. Are you going to be more magical, or are you going to be more hard-hitting? Are you going to be that type of a person? So you have the Manifest of Might, so Manifest Might, and where you are getting that proficiency with that heavy armor like you normally would, essentially, and a martial weapon of your choice. And from that, you also get the ability to infuse your weapon with some really freaking cool divine energy. And guess what? You actually even get to choose if it'll be radiant or necrotic damage, which is super freaking cool, equal to your proficiency bonus.
Love that.
And there is, I know, it's so cool. I love it, especially because, like, I've been following Kobold Press for a while, and I know some of the stuff that they're pulling this from, and I love it.
You know what I also like about it is that the necrotic inclusion, it doesn't just specify that these are just good clerics. Like, there are evil deities, and there are evil clerics.
Then you have Manifest Miracles, so you want to be that wonderful Jesus giver vibe of, like, I give all the miracles here. You can go ahead and learn one additional cantrip of your choice from any source of magic, which is freaking awesome. Especially because sometimes, you know, I say sometimes, but a lot of times when you are playing 5e, you feel really super limited by what you're stuck in, and like, well, why does this class get, like, the cool stuff? But instead, you get to go ahead and choose whatever you want as an additional cantrip, and it gets to count as a divine cantrip for you, but it doesn't count against the number of cantrips you know. And in addition, because we always have to have more, you get to add your proficiency bonus to the damage you deal with any divine cantrip.
Does that mean I get Divine Eldritch Blast? I think that's what that means.
I mean, if you really want to go for it, I mean, we could work something out, just like your wonderful patron did.
At second level, just like usual, you're going to be getting Channel Divinity, and you'll be able to use it more as you continue to level up. Each subclass of cleric is going to have their own special channel divinities, but every single cleric has the opportunity to use Turn the Profane. With Turn the Profane, you're able to present your holy symbol and speak a prayer or whatever words you think your god would enjoy, and censor.
That pretty much just means to denounce or
Denounce.
Yeah.
Begone, thought. I killed the chat.
My last brain cell exploded. Okay. In Tales of Valiant, this is new because not only undead creatures are unholy, also fiend, which I think is super fitting, especially for a cleric. So any unholy creatures within 30 feet of you that can see or hear you must make a wisdom save, and if they fail, they're going to be turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage.
An important distinction on here as well is that the creature cannot get any closer to you in the pursuit of getting away from you. So you can actually just corner a being, and they can't get any closer to run down the hallway.
You'll gain more uses of your channel divinity at 6th, 13th, and 18th levels.
Please tell your editor to use that clip of me coming back from drinking this fucking soup and not realizing it was going to leave a Joker mustache on me, and I just laughed so hard.
Oh no.
Crystal, find it. Next up, Destroy the Profane. You gain this option at 5th level. Essentially, whenever a fiend or an undead fails your save against Turn the Profane, it dies immediately. It depends on the CR, which I believe it starts at CR.
Half or lower.
Half or lower. Thank you. Thank you, Note Goblin. At CR 1/2. And then, of course, at 8th, 11th, and 14th, and 17th, the CR actually increases, helping you pop more Undead and Fiend as you level. Next up is Divine Intervention. Essentially how this works is that you roll a d20 and add your proficiency bonus. If you rolled a 19 or lower, you failed and you've wasted your action pretty much. If you succeed, you get to cast any divine spell you wish. The biggest difference here being is that if it is a spell level you cannot cast or a spell circle that you cannot cast, you roll another d20 with the DC being 10 plus the spell circle, and then if you beat that, it goes off perfectly. Alternatively, you can choose an effect of how your deity intervenes, or the GM can suggest an intervention.
Dear Lord, please smite his goddamn ass.
Now, Angie, Livy, what if I want to turn away from my deity? Maybe I want to go and... I know, but what if I want to go shoot bows?
Sacrilege!
And, get a favored enemy with the ranger? What if I want to do that? What is stopping
No.
me
Go
from
be a
multiplying?
goddamn
Consider,
warlock
hold
then.
strong.
This is wrong.
I'm sorry. But what's stopping
What
me
about
from
the
doing
boons, James?
The
What about
boons?
the boons?
that? Oh my
The
god,
boons!
please tell me about the,
The
boons. I gotta know.
The Bomboony.
Oh.
As with all Tales of the Valiant classes, if you stick to your guns or your cleric holy items, you can get at level 10 and level 20 a heroic boon followed by an epic boon. For your heroic boon, you get to choose between one of two. Your first option is Gift of Consecration, where you become immune to disease, poison damage entirely, and the poison condition. And if you die, your body is instantly preserved as if someone else casted Gentle Repose, which they wouldn't because you're the cleric, for up to a year and a day.
So you're telling me I can be Snow White? I can
Yeah.
live up my
Literally.
Snow White fantasy?
Literally.
Or
Mhm.
hear me out. I mean, that's a great option, but there's also the Gift of Wrath. Hear me out.
Oh, that sounds pretty dark.
Yeah. So you
I guess
choose.
if you're into that kind of thing.
I am, because you get to choose between radiant or necrotic damage, and you're now resistant to that damage type. In addition, when you cast spells that deal damage of any type, you choose to deal radiant or necrotic instead. So you get to essentially Firebolt? No. Necrotic Bolt. Ray of Frost? No. Ray of Radiance. Come on. I mean, that's amazing.
Gift of Wrath. Can you tell us the barbarian player finally looking at a cleric?
Am I actually considering it?
Whoa,
Yes.
you can do damage with other classes? That's like
Whoa.
crazy, bro.
Wow.
And finally, but definitely not last. Well, I guess it is technically last because it's 20th level, but you have an epic boon. So you have full commitment to being a cleric, and being on this path grants you a super powerful new ability. So you get to be a divine herald. So that means when you get to use that divine intervention we were talking about earlier, your deity is going to automatically intervene without a roll.
That's my
Without
homie
a
right
roll.
there. That's my loyal servant. He
For
gets
real.
what he wants.
Hey, yo, don't mess with me. I don't know if you know, but like, I don't gotta do much but ask. That's all it takes. But yeah, you no longer even have to wait a freaking week before you use it again. You get to use it once per long rest. You're still gonna be bound to other restrictions in the future. However, like I said, you get to be a full badass who's just like, I don't know if you wanna mess with me, you know, I got like my god right here, and we're just gonna be hand in hand messing you up. So what I want, he wants, together we do.
I got God on speed dial. Watch out. Hello and welcome to the part of the video that I do not think does the Tales of the Valiant Cleric enough justice. This is the part of the video where I tell you the comparisons from 5e to Tales of the Valiant. And as you can see on this table here, there are 3 options that do not have a direct comparison. So just new feature on new feature, which honestly are really cool. Hopping straight into it, we have Manifestation of Faith. There's no 5e comparison here, but this is essentially a unique playstyle. You get to choose if you're more of a spellcasting cleric or more of a weapon and shield kind of cleric. After that, we have Turn Undead and Destroy Undead, which are now Turn the Profane and Destroy the Profane. This is really simple. In 5e, this only works on Undead, and on Tales of the Valiant, it works on Fiends and Undead, so giving you an expanded range of targets. And then we have Divine Intervention. There's a subtle change here that I think goes a long way. In 5e, you have to roll a d100, and if the roll is equal to or lower than your level, then it works and your deity intervenes. In Tales of the Valiant, you roll a d20 and you add your proficiency bonus. If the score is 20 or higher, then it works, your deity intervenes. This can be in a number of ways. That actually has a paragraph that says, if you successfully intervene, the GM can propose a form of intervention, anything that replicates the effects of a divine spell, or, anything outside of that box. Essentially, you get to say, you have the final say on allowing the GM's proposed option, or you just choosing your own spell, but it gives you more agency on how that interaction works with you and your deity, which I think is personally really cool. And then these next two, these are heroic boon options. So these are the Gift of Consecration and the Gift of Wrath. You have to choose between these when it comes to your heroic boons, and these are pretty unique. There's no 5e comparison. The Gift of Consecration essentially makes you immune to disease, poison damage, and the poison condition, and if you die, your body is instantly preserved as if gentle repose was cast on you, and that lasts for a year and a day. And for Gift of Wrath, you choose a damage type between Radiant and Necrotic. You're now resistant to that damage type, and also when you cast a spell that deals damage of any type, you can choose for it to deal Radiant or Necrotic instead, choosing the damage type that you chose when you chose this boon. And that was a really quick comparison for 5e to Tales of the Valiant. Again, I don't think this table does the Cleric and TOV complete justice, so please go back and watch the entire video if you just skipped to this timestamp. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's ToVsday. Next week we're going to be going over the Druid, so don't miss that. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Bye-bye for now. Bye!
Peace out!